Hello and welcome to the Chatty Runners podcast. My name's Dan.
My name is Sophia.
And I'm Andre.
And we share a mutual love of one thing. And that one thing is?
Running.
Running, yeah. I've really got to work on that intro, haven't I? It's not exactly dynamic. Please stay with us. It does get really, really good. So we thought there was no better place to kind of talk to you about running than in a podcast. And this is the second episode of the Chatty Runners podcast. And this is it, episode 2. And this week, a little bit of a teaser, we're going to talk about a little thing called Parkrun. I think you all know what Parkrun is, but if not, we'll explain it all to you. So we can't start this podcast on the 19th of June without talking about the big news today. And that is, of course, the by-election in Makerfield. Oh, no, not the by-election in Makerfield. We don't really, well, we do care, but we don't care. For us as runners, the important thing is the 2-day London Marathon for 2027. Let's have our thoughts. So, Andre, you did it this year. It's fresh in your memory. What do you think about a 2-day event?
I think if you'd asked me before I'd done the London Marathon, my thoughts about it would have been a lot different to how they are today. I'm sort of conflicted by, part of me thinks it's a really good idea because it allows people who've never had the opportunity to potentially have a better chance of doing it. But then also, I think speaking to you in the past, it sort of potentially detracts from other marathons or from the people who wouldn't get the chance to normally do it because there was only limited spaces to be able to experience other marathons. So it's part of me is, it's, as I said, it's part of me it's like a good thing and part of it's a bad thing. But for me, I think as long as it's a one-off, like this one-off special occasion, then I feel like for me personally, it's a good thing.
Because your 47th year is the special anniversary that everybody celebrates. It seems a weird time to do it, isn't it? 47th event.
Oh,
Yeah, maybe
I
the 50th
assumed it was.
might have been.
Yeah, I assumed it was going to be from next year and then every year after. I didn't realize it was a one-off.
Yeah, just a one-off. Yeah, I think then
Yeah.
closing down London for 2 days is a little problematic, but as a one-off, possibly. But according to them, it's a one-off as of right now. But who knows?
Yeah, because what's the point in a one-off? Like you say, closing down London is very problematic, which is obviously what springs to mind when you think about them changing to that format, indefinitely. But what benefit would it be to do it as a one-off other than like 1 year where it has double the, revenue, and then like it just seems strange. Like you do it and test it, and if it works, then you keep doing it. That's what I'd assume.
Yeah, and it's a couple of points I made on the running channel, social media channel, was that it's going to stretch quite a few people. So, for example, if you live in London, and I know I work with somebody who lives in London, and he said, well, it's marathon weekend. He just gets out of the city. He just doesn't bother going anywhere. And if you imagine if you're in the emergency services, they're going to be stretched, particularly the police, particularly if the Football Association decide that that's the weekend they're going to have the semi-finals at Wembley. It doesn't make sense to me that maybe they'll move that to another weekend because that's possibly something that could be moved. And also the volunteers. The event runs on volunteers, doesn't it? Can you imagine if you've got 2 days worth of volunteers that they've got to fine for that? That's not going to be easy, is it?
No, I think, logistically, it's a nightmare for the organisers, but I suppose they wouldn't have announced it without like careful planning and had all this pre-preparation done in advance. Obviously speaking with the police, speaking with any other authorities, any other sporting organisations that also have events planned for around that time. So it's got to have been done, with thoughts. The thought process there at the start without just announcing it and then we'll just pick up the pieces afterwards.
So,
Yeah,
Sophia, do you think there's any positives here? Sorry, go on.
Well, I was just going to say they must have had it all thought through before it was even rumored, because that wasn't that long ago. It was only, a couple of
Mm.
months ago that the rumor was swirling, and now suddenly it's confirmed. So yeah, it must have been planning it for a long time.
But going back to, well, obviously we've looked at a lot of the negatives. There's got to be a positive. I mean, the charities, they're going to make a lot of hard-earned money for their good causes, surely, aren't they?
I don't know. I feel like it's really hard to to earn the money needed to, or rather to raise the funds needed
Hmm.
for the charities. I've seen people have charity places and, raise that amount of money, but it doesn't seem like an easy task. And then if you've got double the amount of people, going around all their friends and contacts, trying to, doing the bake sale or all the other ways that people ask for the
Yeah.
donations. Not
I
sure.
mean,
It's not the
it's an
economy for it.
I know. I mean, my cousin did it in 2024, and she did it for a charity, and they expected her to raise £1,500, which was the lower end of the scale. And if you're training for a marathon, that's hard enough. But if you're trying to raise that amount of money, that's quite a lot. And dare I say it, there is charity fatigue. People are like, "Oh, not again! He's asking for more money. He wants more to raise more money for people." And there's only we're living in tough times financially, so yeah, it's a very valid point you make there, Sophia. So I think the jury's out. Do you agree, guys?
I
Yeah.
think because I think London prides itself on being the charity marathon, and it already broke the record for like
Hmm.
most donations on it, or on a single day. And I always think they want to build upon that. They want to break the record. They want to be the biggest one. They don't. I think New York is too much of a threat to them in terms of the number of participants every year, because obviously they just take the records off each other. So
Yeah,
doing this 100,000 thing, it's going to be like, well, New York's not going to be able to ever compete with that, and we'll be the best marathon ever. So it depends on the motives from the organizers. Uh,
yeah. Any final thoughts, Sophia?
No, other than it's hard to see a positive, other than
Hmm.
participation, that you've got more chance if you're in the ballot of getting a place, because there are, in theory, twice as many now. But it just feels like there are a lot of complications, differences in experience between how the 2 days go, the weather,
Hmm.
the crowds, the cost of accommodation, etc., etc. It doesn't feel like it's an easy thing to see pure positives, from my perspective. But also, I didn't have much of an opinion on it, because with London just getting busier and more difficult, I think I've just kind of shut it off. I just
Yeah,
think that's not for me now. It would be too crowded. It would be too difficult to be in the city and still feel really like prepared for a race. So
yeah.
yeah, I sort of think, well, it's not. I don't know. It's not my concern to have an opinion about it either way. But it is, yeah, it's easy to see a lot of negatives.
God, the Stoics would love you. It's all right to not have an opinion, So, okay, cool. So, I think
Not
we've.
my circus, not my monkeys. Or is it the other way
Oh,
around?
I love that phrase. Anyway, so yeah, we're not going to solve it. They're not going to change their mind. They're going to go for 2 day, and they're not going to listen to our podcast and go, "Oh, blimey, those guys have really laid into us." Right, we're going to cancel it completely. So there we go. Anyway, should we move on to the next bit of the podcast, which is going to be the warm up? Okay, so like any good run, we have to do a warm up. So we answer a few questions at the start of each episode just to get ourselves a little bit limber, ready for the main event, which today is going to be talking all about parkrun. So let's start with a parkrun related question. What is your favorite non home parkrun? So I'm going to go on the screen here, I'm going to go left to Sophia. Come on, Sophia. What's your favourite non-home park run? Ludlow being your home park run.
Yes, Ludlow's home park run. I think I mentioned last week that I don't do a lot of park runs, so I don't feel like I've got that many to pick from in terms of ones that like particularly enjoyed. Or I have done them, but it was such a long time ago, I've got no memory. But one that I keep going back to that is in our region that I particularly like, no surprises because it's flat, is Worcester. 2 laps around a race course, but it's tarmac
Yeah.
course, so you're not on the grass really at any point, and it's just lovely, just fast, flat, you know what you're getting, and then you have a great run there, so I'll say Worcester.
Okay. So Worcester, I didn't watch the video because I found it quite a little bit objectionable. There was a YouTuber who decided to be paced round the park run with somebody on a time trial bike riding in front of them, and their headline was, "I was disqualified from parkrun," and I thought, very lucky you didn't get a slap in the face from somebody behaving like that. So there we go. But no, Worcester, that sounds like a good one, nice and flat.
Yeah.
Andre, any thoughts on Worcester? Have you done Worcester?
I haven't done Worcester. I think I've only done about 8 different park runs over the last. I think I've only been doing park runs for like the last 2 years. I definitely feel
Mhm.
like we should do each other's favorite park run and each other's like non-home park run. Like
You're
we
Let's
should
always
put that in
welcome.
the
You'd be
calendar for
both
something like
welcome in
that.
Telford.
Yeah. I think that would be a good idea. Nice chatty runners. Um, I don't want to call it a date. You know what I mean? Between the three
tour,
of us.
Meet up.
Yeah,
We can
yeah,
call it a
meet up.
meet
Yeah,
up,
that's it.
and
Yeah,
it doesn't
meet up.
sound
Yeah,
dodgy then.
but
yeah.
we don't know where Dan's favorite is yet, so he could be sending us off to, Holland or somewhere for it.
So do you know Ulaanbaatar? No, not. We're not going to Outer Mongolia or Inner Mongolia. So I take it that's a prompt for me to confess my favourite. So I've been doing a lot of tourism recently, just spreading my wings a little bit. It's a tricky one, but I've got to say, I really enjoyed Severn Valley Country Park, which I want to get both of you to. I know that I did a video for it, my channel, Other Adventures Await Me. Andy Goldsby was there the other week, and he really liked it. It runs by the Severn Valley Railway in Shropshire, and it's a real challenge. You go across the River Severn, it's traily, there's a little bit of tarmac, and yeah, that's where I would go. In actual fact, I'd like to take you guys there and buy you a coffee.
It's nice and close, and I've actually been there but never done the park run. So, yeah, I'd definitely vote for that one as a meet-up place.
Yeah, sounds like
Okay,
definitely a good a meetup place.
And
maybe
Andre,
sort of.
did you say something about having drank more coffees now? So you might actually go for the post-run coffee?
Yes, I'll definitely be joining you on a post run coffee. Yeah, after I've had quite a few coffees since we last spoke, so I'm trying. I promise, I'm trying.
Oh, look, feel no peer pressure to do this, but if you want to be the weird one of the group that doesn't drink coffee, that's absolutely fine by me. I'm usually the weirdo in the group because I am weird. So come on, Andre, you haven't. You said yet. So what's your
My
tourism one? Go
favorite
on.
non-home park run is it's a Perry Hall Park Run in Birmingham. It's actually like pretty much across the road from the Alexander Stadium where the European Athletics Championships taking place.
Mhm.
It's my favorite because for such a long time I hated that park, and I um, decided to completely avoid that park because when I was at school, we'd always did cross country in that park. So, and I didn't like running at school. And then because I'd avoided it for so long, I recently did that park run, and it's such a lovely park, and I absolutely loved that park and park run. Now I love it. So because
Brilliant.
most of my the other park runs that I've done, the postcode begins with B. I'm trying to go out a little bit more, but it's
Well, you've done a
that
couple
one's
with W.
yeah. So yeah, a couple with W. I've done the Dudley Park Run as well. That's along the canal. I'm hit and miss with canal running, but
Mhm.
I think that Perry
Arrow
Hall,
Valley? You did Arrow
that's
Valley, didn't you?
nice. That's nice, yeah. And
Yeah?
Edgbaston Reservoir is nice as well. Or it's yeah, that Perry Hall Parkrun, just because it's sentimental to me. It's
Mm,
so that one means a lot, that I now actually like that, because it's in my history, as in my running history. So it's yeah, that's my favorite one.
excellent,
When you
excellent. We
said
you
hit and
go on.
miss with canal running,
Yeah.
do you mean hit and miss whether you enjoy it or hit and miss whether you're falling in? Because I definitely thought maybe the latter. Is there a
Definitely
story?
hit and miss. Definitely hit and miss whether I enjoy it or not. Just because it can become a bit monotonous, and also considering that my next race in 2 weeks' time is from Wolverhampton to Birmingham along the canal, so I've got to
Yeah.
do like a half marathon all the way.
Oh,
Hopefully
crikey.
that's a hit.
Yes, yeah, I do
But
enjoy it most of the time. It's just the monotony of it sometimes.
Oh,
your mention of school cross country as well, I had such trauma flashbacks. Maybe this is something to talk about on another episode, because what are schools doing putting everyone off running with these ridiculous
Yeah,
feats they make you do at cross country? Awful,
yeah.
horrible.
Oh my god, it's
mate.
raining. Let's do cross country.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I still remember running around the field. I have to admit, I may have enjoyed it a little bit, but I was never very good at it. So, yeah, it really was. I'd rather be playing football, actually. So, we've got a few more questions. So, let's make these ones a little bit quicker. Shorts brand, Andre. Which shorts brand do you wear?
I think you've probably all noticed from my socials that I wear a lot of twisted running gear, and I really like their shorts, just mainly because I was at a point where I didn't like wearing the hydration vest, so I needed to look for a pair of shorts that had like that I could store everything in, as well as my phone and my action camera. So I'm able to. So their shorts are like exactly what I needed when I was doing the looking for stuff for the New York Marathon, so I can fit in my 10 jowls that I had for doing an over 5 hour marathon. So yeah, anyone looking for a pair of like cargo shorts, then I think there's even a space for when you're doing like trail runs
Hmm.
and things like you can carry a stick in the back as well. So it's it's a good utility pair of running shorts.
Absolutely. Is it got like one of those lines that Batman throws up and kind of like pull himself up the side of? Are you really Batman?
I'm Clark Kent.
You're Clark Kent, of
Yeah.
course. Yes, with the glasses,
Yeah.
aren't you? Sophia, shorts wise, what's your preference?
Day to day, just general training, I can wear anything really, as long as they are the cycling short style, and they have to be quite long because I'm really tall. So they've got to be like 6 inch inseam, 7 inch, something like that. But it
Hmm.
really doesn't matter what they are as long as they fit that type. But then for race day, I have a pair of Saw shorts, which was so expensive. I did get them with a kind of a discount that was available at the time, but
Yeah,
they're really worth it. They're so good, just super lightweight,
I
hardly
have
any
heard good things.
seams, and the seams that are there are the taped kind. They just feel like a second skin, and they're amazing. So if anyone was dithering on whether to buy a really expensive pair of shorts, do it, because they're probably worth it.
Yeah, my personal preference for shorts are Happy Stride. Much like the twisted ones, they've got like pockets and everything in them. Really, really good. Um, there's more pockets than you know what to do with, in all honesty, and they are come in some very bright colours. There's a lot of companies going along that line now. Flanchy, obviously Happy Stride. Some of the major manufacturers just go for dull colours, so I want something a bit colourful. So there we go. Shall we move on to question 3, which is the weirdest post-race goodie? I think I've got the winner, by the way. I think I've got the winner, but
Go on, you can start then.
potatoes. Valencia, they get well. It wasn't. It was kind of like they gave you them in your bag when you collected your number, and there was like little mini salad potatoes, and they
Wow,
were lovely. Yeah, but it's a weird thing to take back through customs.
so weird.
Mm,
I don't know how we can top that. I mean, we can't, but anything I'm going to say now is just dull
go for
compared
it.
to
Go
that.
on. Go on. Go
I
on.
would after well, again, before in the sort of bag that you pick up with the bib for Seville Marathon, they had a deodorizing shoe spray in there. So weird, but actually quite useful. Haven't used it yet. but didn't throw it
Mhm.
away immediately. So maybe it'll get some use this summer.
Yeah. Andre, can you beat that?
I definitely can't. Mine is very dull because I don't think I've done enough races to have enough very different goodie bags. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I've done like the great run races or the marathon races where you just get the generic stuff. I think London, I got a coffee, and I didn't like that one. I know my first run through race. You're looking at me like that. My first run through race, I got the love corn sort of stuff, and
Oh,
I thought that was a bit strange because I'd never seen this before. But
awful.
I tried it, and I actually enjoy it. I actually enjoyed the flavor that we got. But I think at the time when I got it, the love corn thing was a bit strange.
Oh dear. Yeah. Anyway, pre-race superstitions. Anything you always have to do pre-race that kind of like, you don't cross yourself or anything like that, or kind of like put one shoe on first and then listen to a particular type of music now? Haven't got
No.
anything weird like that?
Yeah, I'm a bit boring. Definitely sock shoe shoe.
Oh god,
um,
yeah, let's not go down that route.
Just
Apart from like checking and double checking and triple checking stuff, I'm tried not to get into superstitious stuff like that because I feel like then it sort of commands your life and things like that. So I think I'm quite relaxed and just go with the flow sort of thing when it regards to race day.
Yeah, just go to the toilets loads before the start and go to the loo, and then 5 minutes later think you really need the loo again. You don't. It's not a superstition,
Mhm.
but it's basically the only, like, pre-race ritual I have is just constantly be in a queue for a portaloo.
It's like
Yeah,
my
the
post podcast routine.
yeah, there are, hedgerows and, bits of grass around the starts and finish areas that were well watered at Manchester, should we
Mm.
say. So anyway, wouldn't have done that in Valencia, quite frankly, but there were loads of toilets on the way. Anyway, and then finally, what's your post-race treat? What do you what's your kinda like you've finished your race, you've got your medal, and your significant other says, "Right, let's go and have something to eat." What do you wanna eat?
I think mine's generally something like fast food related, like a McDonald's or a Greggs or something like that. Because you feel like you've done all that hard work just for the end of this race. You've got the medal, and let's just treat yourself with something completely wrong. Like
Yeah.
a Greggs is what usually happens most like the
Steak bake? Sausage roll?
sausage roll. It's only be a sausage roll. Yeah.
Sophia?
I don't know if there I don't feel like I have a lot of appetite post-race. I mean, I kind of force myself to eat stuff and, salty food. Um,
Mhm.
but if anything, it would be like, particularly a long race, the morning after. So I'd be like McDonald's breakfast because
Oh,
I've suddenly got my hunger at like 6 a.m. the next day.
I've I, I go for a Five Guys, burger generally. We did it after Valencia, and we did it after London. It just hits the spot, but as always, I'm not the only one because both places were really, really busy. And, yeah, could barely, it was like half an hour wait for my burger, and I was ready to eat the table. I went through like a whole punnet of peanuts as well, lots of protein, so there we go. So there we go, that's the warm-up done, a little bit, longer than possibly, we should have, but, I think we're all limber and ready to go for into the main subject. We ready? Yeah,
Mhm.
let's go and do this. So now into the main subject of this podcast. It's Parkrun. Now, if you're a runner, you should really know about Parkrun by now. It's a free, weekly, timed 5K run in your local park. Well, not necessarily in your park, but we can get on to that. So we all each know what our home park runs are, and we've all also discussed today what our favourite non-home park run is. So, Andre, let's start with you. What does Parkrun mean to you?
I feel for me, parkrun is that it's where you can go to be part of the community. Everyone from like beginners to elite people can just go and just run and just be part of the running community. No one's really not most. A lot of people aren't really bothered about their time. Um, it's just where you can just go. You just spend however long it is, and you're just part of this global community of runners that are all doing a park run at pretty much exactly the same time
Hmm.
all around the world. And it's just being part of something. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
park run means to me.
It's absolutely, yeah. I couldn't agree with you more. The community side of it is very, very important. I'm a very community-minded kind of person. Sophia, would you echo those comments? Is there anything you can add to that? What
Yeah,
else
I think
what else
I'm
do we
I'm
think about parkrun?
different. So it's gonna make me seem like the villain, but parkrun doesn't mean that to me. And I think for me, I'm very good at running alone, training alone. I have no issues kind of getting out there and being a solo runner. But I'm also have always
Mhm.
been part of a running club. So when I've run with people, it's people that I see week in, week out, that I am friends with, that I want to catch up with and have deeper, meaningful conversations with. And I feel like a parkrun for me kind of falls in the middle, whereby you would be in a community, but it's maybe people you'd say hello to, maybe people you would develop friendships with, but it's more of that acquaintances, sort of a shared experience rather than running with friends. And I feel like I tend to land either side of it, which is why I haven't done that many park runs. I enjoy them when I do them, but
Yeah,
if anything for me, I'm not having anyone film me on a bike when I do them, but I do tend to use it as a bit of a time trial because you have a bit more energy, you have a bit more environments and people that are faster than you to try and push you along. So if anything, I probably use parkrun for the wrong reasons, which is if I want to do a bit of a speed session or use it as a way to sort of push myself, but not have to go all the way to sort of a race,
yeah.
to signing up for a race, then that's what I would use it for. So yeah, I'm probably the odd one out of the three of us in terms of how I relate to parkrun, but yeah, that's it for me.
I
I
thought you
think
were gonna come across as so go on, Anne. No, you
I,
first, Andre.
I just think the way that to be how you're saying it, I think I'm sort of falling into that category now because I've joined a run club and I've got people who I see like every week. That the feeling about parkrun is slightly changing to how you're talking about it. It's not quite there
Mm,
yet, but it's something that I do want to. I'm always that dilemma. It's like, do I treat it like a time trial, or do it's yeah? When you talk about the acquaintances, yeah,
mm,
it definitely does feel like that. I mean, more and more, I'm getting, I'm saying hello to people because I'm not that sort of person. I'd happily just being part of the community, not really talking to me, talking to others is used to be enough for me. Just
yeah.
not running on my own, but now it's because I've got that run club of people that I talk to. It's just it's just making me feel a little bit different about part run.
But some people
It-
might want to run with people and not actually have to hold a conversation and talk and have it be like that, like I say, the kind of deeper meaningfuls with close friends. They might want to be with people but not feel like there's any impetus on them to have to sort of be sociable and put their best self forward and, be outgoing if that's not how they feel on that day or just not how they, feel in terms of their personality in general. So, yeah, maybe it is a sweet spot for a lot of people. But, Andre, it's interesting that for you, it was your definition of social running at one time,
yeah,
and now you've got social running that comes in a different format.
I mean, from my perspective, I have turned up to park runs in the past on a Saturday morning and just thought, "Oh, I don't want to talk to anyone." And within 5 minutes, I'm the life and soul of the party because you bumped into
I can't
somebody.
imagine you not talking. Of course you'd be going there as the friendliest person of the bunch.
But, I mean, I've made friends through parkrun. There's those people who you just kinda, like, see week to week, and then you kinda, like, see them out in civilian clothes walking down the street, and you're like, say, "Hi, you're right, yeah, not too bad." And next thing you know, your friend's on social media and kinda like they say, "Oh, I saw you went and did this." And it's a really good way, I find, to improve your mental health, to get out there, to meet people, to make friends. And like Andre, I wasn't a member of a running club until I'd been through quite a few park runs. And then eventually I thought, well, let's see what this running club malarkey is all about. And I'd seen at our local park run in Telford, the kilometre markers are sponsored by the different clubs, and one of them's Telford Harriers. And I thought, oh, give them a try because they met up outside my local gym, and yeah, I joined them. It's the other thing is it, it's a really good place to spend time with your fam. I find with my family. My mum loves parkrun. She says that it's the best thing this country's ever done for the world because it is a global thing now. Very popular in South Africa. It's starting to take off in America. Um, and she absolutely loves it. She loves volunteering as part of it, so she kind of like gets that out of it. And I love going to parkrun and then not running with her for whatever however long it takes because she's in her 70s and she's not as fast as me, I'm afraid to say. She's inspired me to run, but unfortunately, I just kind of like finish and jog back and see her. And I know she's had a good run. If I get to a certain point in the course, oh yeah, you're a bit faster this time, or I'm a bit slower coming back to see. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So it's a good time to spend with families. I know that at my local park, run you see like families getting together and uh, Craig Upton and the Upton family and all that. They go to Telford Park Run on a regular basis. Hello to them if they're listening. And my auntie and my cousin, they do it. It's a good family thing. It's a good social thing. I think it's generally really good for people's mental health, including my own.
Do you find that it sort of unlocked the community aspect of running for you?
Yes, definitely, because it can be. We can't all be self motivating and dependent on yourself. Sometimes you just need somebody to say, "Hey, you're doing really well at the moment. How you doing at the moment? You okay?" Just having that conversation and just making it feel a welcoming environment. And that's the thing. Every park run I've been to has been so welcoming. Even if I turn up with my camera and I'm pointing it at people, no one's ever said, "Oh, don't point that thing at me." They'll ask questions. They'll be happy to talk to you. They'll very often say, "Oh, I've got nothing important to say," and those are the best conversations to have when somebody says, "I'm not important." Um, yeah, and it's just such a positive experience. But having said that, some of the parkruns we've been to, Andre, um, so we went to Cannon Hill. There was something like 800 plus people there, weren't there? It's
Yeah,
very,
yeah.
very successful. And Sophia, your local one, lots less people there, but no less welcoming. Different aspects of different courses. And I think the aspect of having a big event like Cannon Hill, like Bushy Park, like Telford and Shrewsbury, which are both 700 number runners, down to somewhere like Purton, which is a lovely park run, only about, I think it's about 60 or 70 people. Um, some in the 200s. They're different sizes. And I think that's really good as well. They're not all massive events. So you look at Bushy Park, you saw the millionth park run that they were celebrating, and it's just like a mass start, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit crazy. I don't know whether I'd. I think that's too much for me. That to take part in that. But
Yeah. I mean, Sophia, you when you talked about Stratford upon Avon because you used to live down there.
Yeah.
That tempted me because not only can I go and do parkrun at Stratford upon Avon, I can say to my a lovely wife, I can say, "Hey, why don't we have a nice away in Stratford upon Avon? I can do the park run in the morning, and then we can wander around and maybe go and see a play in the afternoon." That's if you can get tickets.
Yeah.
Tickets
I'd
at
say
Stratford Theatre.
wait until autumn or in kind of winter, early spring. I feel like between April and September, it's really hard to do anything. It's a very, very busy town with
Yeah,
tourists.
yeah. The tourism side of things, and then there's like groups of people that will go around and visit different park runs. I've encountered quite a few of them, and when I did Alderford Lake in North Shropshire, there was somebody who had done 50 park runs in total and not the same one twice, which I find incredible. I'm I'm struggling to find 5 or 6 in a row now that without repeating myself. So yeah, that's amazing. And these challenges that they bring up on the Parkrun app is just absolutely fabulous.
yeah, the park run app's been like really useful since they sort of embrace that. I really like the map of where you can actually just see where you've been, and then what other park runs are around. It's really allowed me to go a little bit further out than about 10 miles.
Yeah.
But at least I've got like a visual representation of where I can go.
Just
So
stay
it's
zoomed in, and it
yeah.
looks like you've done everything.
Yeah. I mean, Nendi, nearest event not done yet. Mine is the Isabel Trail in Stafford. Would yours be Wyre Forest, Sophia?
Or
I think that's
Queenswood, which is a new one that's near
mm,
Hereford. They might even be, like, equidistant, but nowhere's that
oh.
close to me, so they're both probably 20 miles away, so
In the words of David Tennant as Doctor Who, equidistant, such a grown-up word. Andre, Birmingham, you're spoiled for choice there, aren't you?
Yeah, and I've got. I think there's Sandwell Valley Parkrun. There's
Mhm.
the one in Sutton Park, and I
Yeah.
think there's. I think there might be one in West Bromwich or something like that, and Tamworth as well. Those are all like B postcodes that I've still got to venture out and go to. So yeah, there's quite a few. I know there's a new one possibly starting in Birmingham. I think it's Cofton Park.
Mm.
I think that might be in the next couple of months or so. So that's probably about 5 miles or so away from me. So that should be
Cofton
another
Park. I'm gonna take a note now
yeah.
because that would be a really good one to get along and do the first event. Just
Yeah.
kinda like be there and kinda like be the first one of the first people to
I
finish it would be
think it might be it's either the 4th of August or the 4th of July. So I'm sure that it's on a day that I've got a race. So it might be the 4th of July.
Mhm. Okay.
So
Well,
it's actually in the next couple of weeks, isn't it?
yeah. But, yeah, amazing how time moves on.
Yeah.
So, they have had a number of controversies at Parkrun. Um, there was a controversy about, one of their sponsors, I think it was Happy Egg, having some, interesting animal welfare issues. I don't wanna delve too deep into it. It's all out there on the internet. But the biggest one was the timings for the age group, that they don't publish it in the results. You still get where you were in your age group on your app, but uh, they don't publish it on the full list of results. And people said, "Well, we want these stats, we want these statistics," and there was a whole group of people that said, "Bring back the stats," and there were people withdrawing their ability, well, their willingness to volunteer or even take part. And I mean, are the numbers important in parkrun?
I It depends whether you consider it as a race or
Mhm,
not, I suppose. I like to. I mean, it's Parkrun started off as a time trial,
mm,
so some people are still gonna. I think a lot of people take, whether you're racing against someone else, but I think most people like to race against themselves.
mhm,
So, as long as you're beating your own time, then I suppose that's the most important thing. And,
Yeah.
I think with me, I like to get the lowest number. Like, if I could get a top 10 finish in a park run, I'd be over the moon with that. But I'm always trying to challenge myself to always try to finish higher than halfway, sort of thing.
yeah.
Then I know I've had a decent part run. I'm disappointed in myself if I've done any lower than that, but it all depends on the numbers that go on sometimes. It's yeah. What about you too?
What about you, Anne Sophia? Do the numbers matter?
I don't. Well, on the one hand, yes, because parkrun says it's a timed event. Whether you walk, run, some combination, skip, whatever, you're covering the distance of 5 kilometers, and you're doing it uh, knowing that it will be timed. So I think because they'd set themselves up that way, that is
Mhm,
kind of fundamental to it. If they
Yeah.
said we're not going to do any timings, I do think it would change the nature of the event and obviously then what they have to provide. It was just the leaderboards that they got rid of, right? It's
yeah.
still timed, there's still results. You can find yours, you can see where you landed in comparison to those around you. So I think getting rid of a leaderboard is absolutely within their rights. They're not a race, they're an event. You don't have to have a podium if it's not a
No?
race. So yeah, I don't if people have an issue with it, they haven't paid any money, so they don't really have the right to have an issue with it.
I
Like
think
you
you
Okay.
can
said, they
still
can
see the
boycott.
leaderboard.
Yeah.
it's not made
Yeah,
immediately obvious, and
you have to go digging and delving for it if you want to actually see it, sort of thing.
yeah. So one of the important things that I discovered in doing a little bit of research for this podcast, and I do research. I do kind of like think about these things. Um, it's no longer, in my opinion, this is no longer a running event. It's a social health initiative. Would you agree with that sentiment?
Yeah, I think it's bigger than a running event.
Mm, definitely, definitely. I mean, the benefit to not only the local economy, because every coffee shop benefits from Parkrun. If there's a Parkrun nearby, I was chatting to the coffee shop nearest to Telford Parkrun finish, and I said to them on one Sunday morning after I'd finished my long run, I said, so do you notice a difference when there's no park run? And I said, oh yeah, our take-ins are massively down if we don't have a park run. Um, and this is a chain that would they want people money. They want people to come in. I go past it and go to a coffee shop further away. I have a particular preference, and every time I go past it, it's no space inside. People sat outside, even when it's cold and wet and miserable, because there's a little sheltered area, and people with their takeaway coffees, and all of the coffee shops are full. Cafes are full. It's good for the economy in that sense, and also it's good for the health of the nation because it's saving the NHS money that it would have to expend in the future. For example, diabetes. I think it's something like 1 billion, 2 billion that we spend on people with diabetes every year, and the medication and the treatment of it, and the healthcare aspect of it. But I think mental health, that's a really big win for me. Don't you? Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely. I know the ethos of Parkrun is like to work to create a healthier, happier planet. So even they know where they sit within the ecosphere of what they're doing um, for the world, essentially. And obviously, you don't really want to make this too political, but with the social media ban or something like that and things like that, the kids will need something else to do. And I always feel like the government should be promoting health and fitness sort of initiatives like Parkrun. It seems like the
Hmm.
perfect opportunity to say, well, even just on a Saturday or like on a Sunday for like junior partruns, why don't you go in with your kids, or like a family can go with your kids, do that parkrun, then it's something, it's giving them something to do and something,
Thing is, I was just gonna say 14 to 16-year-olds, they're gonna need a nighttime version. They're gonna want, like, 9 PM on weeknights or something, like, that's when they wanna be spending time with friends, so maybe that needs to happen instead of
But then I can
Possibly.
say, yeah, they can say to their friends, well, obviously it's not an evening activity, but they can say to their friends, why don't we all meet up on a Saturday morning? Let's all go for a run, do that for half an hour, and then the rest of the day is ours. We can go and kick a football in the park. After we can go for a run, kick the ball in the park, and it's just a perfect opportunity, to get the kids back outside or get them doing something instead of staring at a wall, basically.
Oh, that poor girl. Poor girl. I'll just stare at a wall. Yeah, yeah.
She's an icon.
Um, yeah, it's better than some of the TV I've been watching recently, staring at a wall. Anyway, yeah, so it was started by Paul Stinson Hewitt. I have been very fortunate in that I've met the man, and quite frankly, he is just such a warm and lovely human being. I can't think of a better compliment because I would recommend reading his book, One Small Step, I think it's called. Can't think off the top of my head. It's a really good book. He signed it. He posed for photos with myself and my mum, and just a lovely person. Um, Wonderful to be in his presence, and feel grateful to have met him. He had a really hard life, and he was injured at the time with the first park run, and he just wanted something to occupy him. So he just said, "Look, I'll set up this little time trial around Bushy Park." 13 people turned up. I met one of them last week actually at Buxton. They were the race. No, no, stop, Dan. Run director. I keep saying that, making that mistake. It's run director. It's not a race. And I had a little chat with her, and and 18 people were involved in the initial park run, the Bushy Park time trial, as it was called then. And the next week, only 12 turned up. But he wasn't deterred. He kept going, and there's a lesson in that for all of us. It's almost like Andy Dufresne in The Shawshank Redemption when he gets all of the books and everything. And Sophia, you're doing that face. I don't think I've seen that film. No, really good, really good. Um, and they say because he's been writing letters to the state senate for years, and eventually they give him money and books to start a library. And they say, "What you can do now?" And then he says, "I'm going to write 2 letters." So it's determination. It's that sort of determination to not be deterred when something goes wrong or it doesn't go in your favour or the going's hard. And it's a lesson for us all, I think.
That's how you can tell he was a runner, persistent.
Yeah, mm, absolutely. So is it too successful? I mean, there's no competitors for it, really, are there? There's nothing you could say in the same space. Can you think of any? I can't.
No, I don't think there's anything. I think other like little run groups are trying to make their own version of Parkrun, but they're always going to be many years behind because Parkrun is so established anyway. I mean, you could go on a vacation anywhere, and they'll probably, I suppose, in this country, there'll probably be a Parkrun down the road that anyone can go to. Whereas if let's say your local run club do one session a week or something like that, then you're sort of confined to that space. So
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong. I think there's nothing wrong with a health and fitness initiative being successful. We
Hmm.
want these sort of initiatives to be successful, so it encourages more people. If anything, we want more people to. We want these 800 people part runs, more of them, just because it
Yeah.
just means more people are getting involved, and so
You
it's
said
definitely not a bad thing.
Yeah, you said there's no competitors, but I have heard of Rock Up Run, which I think is
Yeah,
came out of Birmingham, and,
yeah.
like, that to me is like it's a different brand of parkrun, and it's designed maybe for people who don't really feel like they would belong in parkrun, that, they're from a different background, they have a different kind of cultural lived experience, and they don't want to be going out into parks, that it's very suburban, it's very, maybe middle class or whatever else. And actually, Rock Up then puts runs on in city centres and places that are more kind of built up urban environments that people might enjoy running in, and brings a different lens to it, brings a different group of people into it that just wouldn't feel either welcome or like they really
Hmm.
wanted to be there at a park run based on the type of people that go to the park runs that they maybe have an awareness of. So I thought that was quite interesting because it's like, yeah, why not? Like we have different brands of cars, do you want to be this type of person or do you want to be aspirational in that way? So why not the same with like Parkrun? Parkrun has a brand. Why can't there be someone else with a different brand to attract a different type of person? I think, yeah, more is more in that sense.
I mean, when you first turned up to your park run, Andre, did you feel, yeah, this is a place I can feel comfortable in, or was there any anxiety, anything like
There
that?
was so much anxiety because I was happy running alone, but I needed to push myself because I had that anxiousness when I was going into a race. I needed to be familiar with running around other people. So that was
Right.
my sole purpose of doing a park run because I could do it for free and feel that anxiousness for free as opposed to paying
Hmm.
for a race and then still getting anxiousness. So park run was I had to get over the anxiety of I need to in my mind be able to run a 5K without stopping a
Yeah.
solo so that I wasn't having to walk during that part run. So and obviously as just to get me familiar with running with other people, not trying to just concentrate on my own race run, as opposed to concentrating on the people around me. So I think I still do that to this day. It's all about
Yeah.
just getting used to the atmosphere, the environment of it.
Why
And
pay for
Sophia,
your anxiety when you can get it for free?
Yes.
and so
Thank you,
Sophia,
Parkrun.
as a woman, I've noticed this about you. You're a woman. I'm quite observant like that. How did you feel turning up to your first park run? Was it a similar sort of anxiety, or did you just like, no, I'm good?
I'm not an anxious person at all. I don't think I've ever felt much, well, maybe as a teenager, when I was quite a bit younger, but no, certainly since I've been running, I don't get fazed by much at all. But that might be because I joined a running club that was based out of like University of Warwick's athletics facilities, and I joined it. And I'm so slow. I'm running there with people. Someone now who's at like British Championships. He's been representing Great Britain, like not running with them in any sense, running way behind them. But I just quite happily throw myself into any situation as an imposter and just see what happens, because you don't get kicked out. Runners, as we all know, are so friendly and they are so helpful, even when they are leagues ahead of you in terms of pace. So I've always sort of just not felt much anxiety, which is probably why I was, maybe I'm the slightly different example of joining a running club and then finding out about parkrun and going and doing it every now and then. It's kind of the other, like I've kind of done it the other way around, maybe, to
Yeah.
how you did.
Do you think your opinion or the way you feel about this issue would have changed if you'd done it the other way around? Say if you'd done parkrun first and then you'd joined a run club, I suppose
Yeah,
the way that me and Dan have
possibly.
done.
Possibly. And that's why I think that like parkrun is bigger than running, because as much as once you identify as a runner, we would all say if you run or you walk run or you're at parkrun, you're a runner. We'd all say that about people. But when you are in the early stages of, oh, well, I just run once a week for a bit of cardio to go alongside my weightlifting, or I just run once a week to be outdoors for a bit and have some fresh air. You never
Hmm.
think of yourself at that point as a runner. You're just someone who goes for a run every now and then. So yeah, if I had come into running that way, then I probably would have felt like, oh God, everyone's so fast. Look at them all wearing their kit. I'm going to be right at the back. I don't know if, I don't know if I feel like I belong here like these people do. I probably still would have given it a go. Um, but yeah, it's hard to tell, isn't it, though? Because that would have been 10 years ago. And I think parkruns 10 years ago probably weren't quite as wide ranging and busy and full of different types of people, different speeds of people as they are now.
And this may surprise you. I know the anxiety side because when I was doing my first few park runs, I was on a bit of a streak to try and get faster, and I was trying to get under 30 minutes. And one morning I was physically sick, um, feeling so nervous about it. And it was only because I put that pressure on myself. No one else was putting that pressure on me. Nobody else cared. My family would not have given a second's thought to me not hitting my PB at Parkrun that week. And I know I've done over 300 parkruns now, and I know when I got to 50, it stopped meaning this didn't mean the same thing. It still meant a lot, but it started to diminish in its importance of where it sits in your achievements. And it's like, it just parkrun. It doesn't matter. And even the amount doesn't matter. The milestones are great. I mean, I'm miles away from my next milestone, but it's uh, uh, there are some weeks where I turn up and go, do you know what? I'm just going to jog around and I'm going to stop and I'm going to chat to some of the marshals on the way around, or I'm going to just run with my mum and just walk a bit and just not take it too seriously. And that's the great thing about parkrun. It can be whatever you want it to be, to a certain extent. You shouldn't be a dick about it and kind of like just be cutting people up at corners because you want to beat them, to the finish line. Um, by the way, there is video footage of the two of you sprinting for the line at East Park, which will surface on the Instagram
As
channel
it
at some
should.
point. Yeah.
As it should. Well, need
You know,
to
I didn't.
see
Children.
Andre sprinting when he admitted he never usually does it. He's so
I
good
didn't
at it.
actually realise that you'd
Yeah,
filmed
I
that.
don't normally sprint, he says, doing his Usain Bolt. Okay, so what are our conclusions? If you were to say to somebody who's never heard of Parkrun and wants to go along and do it, you'd obviously say, yes, get along and do it. But how would you sell it to them? What would
I'd
be your
say
selling point?
I'd say go and do it. You can walk, you can run, you can skip, you can stop at any point. You don't even have to finish it. You don't have to take your barcode. You don't have to be named. You can literally have as much or as little of it as you want. Just start it and see how it goes. And then they'll have a lovely time and finish it and hopefully keep going back.
Andre?
Oh, I'm always thinking, I'm envisaging a person. The person is my wife, who completely refuses to ever do parkrun. I'm just trying to figure out how I'd ever convince her to do it, and she's the most difficult person to be able to convince to do something like that.
Tell her
But
not to do it. Tell her, no, you really shouldn't. Reverse psychology.
I
Right,
suppose if
you stay in bed, drink your cup of tea, and don't you dare stay in that bed. No,
Don't
don't put
follow
those
me.
running shoes on. Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
I suppose if I was to convince any other person, I'd say it's if someone's looking for a sense of they want to do something that's sort of health and fitness based, and they sort of want a sense of community as well, then parkrun, even as a starting point, seems to be that perfect point of where you can just start. You might make friends. There might just be people you just say hello to just every week. But for some people that's enough, and for even other people, that could be life saving for
Yeah,
some. And for some it takes a little, and for others it takes a lot. And for the people who it takes a little, just that being able to just give someone the incentive to just be able to get out for however long it takes on a Saturday morning at 9 o'clock, and just gives them that routine of something to do. That's something that's not the monotony of the 9 to 5 during the week. It's something else, something active. You're making yourself better physically and mentally for doing parkrun or just getting out there. I think that's how I'd try and sell it.
cool. So I'd probably just say to them, try it, give it a go. If you don't like it, don't do it. No pressure. That's the thing about it. Let's see where it takes you. That would be my main thing I'd say to somebody. I don't like to pressure people. I've tried to pressure my daughter into doing it, to pressure my wife. My brother, I've not even tried. I said, it's Saturday morning. He said, I'm out. I'm out. Whatever it is, I'm out. If it's Saturday morning, I'm not doing it. And just get along, do it. If it's not for you, don't feel any pressure to do it, and don't feel any pressure to come back the second week. One person out of the 13 didn't. But then after that, it just took off and kept going. So there we go. So Parkrun. Um, Let us know your thoughts. Drop us an email. Emails will be coming along at the end with the social media. We'll take a little break, and then we'll go to our cool down question. So if you want to get in contact with us, there's a number of ways you can do that. You can drop us a message on our email, which is chattyrunners@gmail.com. If you want to go and follow us on Instagram, it's Chatty Runners Podcast on Instagram. And please send us a message, leave us a like, whatever feels good. Well, what an effort we just put in there for you. We really, really went all out for you to give you our opinion. And like any good run, you've got to finish it off with a cool down. So let's have the cool down question. So imagine the situation. You're at a race. It could be a 10K, could be a half marathon, could be a 5K, could be a marathon, could be an ultra marathon, whatever you want to do. Okay. You're coming round the corner in the last mile, and you see your family there and they're all cheering for you. The big question is, do you stop and go over and give them a hug and say, "Oh, I love you guys. Thank you so much. Your support means everything"? Or do you just go, "Yeah, thumbs up," and power onto the line? Which one is it?
I am definitely not a hugger when I am a sweaty mess, and I wouldn't inflict that on even my worst enemy. I'm definitely a just wave as I'm going past, and like and then run past. I'll gain all the motivation, and hopefully them seeing me will give them the joy that they're looking for, and yeah, I couldn't put them through tugging a sweaty me. That would be horrible. I think I wouldn't want to hug me when I'm going past, and yeah, just as little contact as possible when I'm in a mess like this.
I love that. Just the sight of me is a gift for them. It'll be enough.
Here I am. Gaze upon me.
As I float towards the finish line.
Absolutely. Feet not touching the floor even. Sophia,
I'm not a hugger even when I'm not sweaty.
right, I'm just going to take a note here. Neither of
Yeah,
you are
I feel like this
huggers.
is gonna be a really revealing question in terms of my personality and, I don't know, how my brain works. But I don't think I'd have any loved ones at a race. And if they force themselves there and were like, "Oh, no, we just wanna be there anyway," because it's genuinely our idea of a fun day is to be a spectator. Obviously, I've got some runner friends who might say that kind of thing. I wouldn't stop for them. I mean, if I was having a bad race and I didn't care about the time at all, then maybe I'd go and have a chat, see if they've got any snacks. But if I'm racing and I'm still putting the effort in, then I'm stopping for no one, and, yeah, they'll be lucky if they get a wave.
You makes you sound like a Labrador. It's kind of like you could be attracted. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
I could be
Scooby snack here.
tempted by a snack pack, but yeah, only if I'd sort of given up on my race. If I had any goals of my own still in that moment, then I'm just very selfish. But which is why I don't really want anyone else to be there supporting me because
So
I just
you
don't
travel
want
to
that
a
much.
race absolutely solo, just with other
Yeah,
runners.
yeah,
Your your partner doesn't go, doesn't
no,
support you.
no. I just don't want anyone there. Yeah, I'm very self-sufficient.
I hope my wife's listening to this, but I could not do this without my support team.
Oh,
It's it's really amazing to have people there to support you. But like you guys, if they're at the side of the road and they're like expecting a hug off me, no chance. Yes, I will be sweaty. Yes, I will be covered in water that I've poured over myself. I will smell horrible. I will look like I've been dragged backwards through a hedge. You're not getting a hug. My auntie and uncle, London Marathon 2024. I saw them about mile 3, just when the courses, the starts converge, just before there. And I saw them at the side of the road, and I kind of like waved at them. And my auntie stepped out into the road because I was quite close to the pavement to try and give me a hug. I ducked. I ducked under her arms. She weren't stopping me. I was on for a PB. I got a PB. She could have.
exactly.
She could have taken me out then.
She
Yeah,
needs to be careful.
terrible, terrible. Yeah. So uh, I've seen people go and do it, and it's a personal choice. I couldn't imagine doing that. I am a hugger, but it has to be in the right circumstances and with the right people. I mean, I wouldn't. So, for example, I wouldn't kind of greet you guys by hugging you unless I felt the moment was right, that it was kind of like you needed a hug. And even then, it
I'd
would
push
be
Andre in the middle and I would reject.
arms round. Oh, she ducked out the way. Where's she gone? She's gone even faster. She's just
Yeah.
broken a PB. So, yeah. So, yeah, you got to read the situation with when it comes to hugs. Not everybody's a hugger. So the cool down is done. We are nice and chilled, and we're going to drink. We're going to draw this pod to a close. I'm going to leave that in just to make it show that we're not some sort of AI generated. I mean, quite frankly, if an AI tried to generate me, it would be a disaster. We're going to go for a few matters arising because obviously after the first podcast we were inundated with messages like your podcast is now uploaded to Spotify, welcome to Amazon Podcasts, and other such messages. So we are available on a number of platforms: Apple, Amazon, obviously Spotify, and we're also on YouTube. We do have the Chatty Runners YouTube channel, which is just the podcast at the moment. Might be some content in the future. We shall see. I'll do a full readout of that afterwards with all of the communications. But one message we did get from an actual human being, not system generated, was from Mike Duffy from the Chasing the Finish podcast. And he said the following, that he really enjoyed the podcast whilst he was painting his garden fence the other night. So we are the official podcast of painting your garden fence. I can feel the sponsorship deal coming in right now. The Chatty Runners podcast, sponsored by Cuprinol. There was us was hoping for something a bit more running related as a sponsor. So yeah, thank you, Mike, for your kind message. Let's draw this pod to the close with our usual thing. So it's Friday night. We've all got a weekend ahead of us. So what are we all going to be doing? So Sophia, can you top Andorra for last weekend? This weekend?
Oh, probably not, because I'm just staying home, but that's still quite nice. I'm actually going to do a parkrun tomorrow. So I'm probably going to go to Worcester. I'm going to try and have a bit of a hard effort run, and then just a long run on Sunday, and otherwise hopefully enjoying some nice hot weather.
Cool. And Andre, which of the many Birmingham park runs are you going to rock up at tomorrow?
I'm actually not doing a park run tomorrow because my wife gave me the bombshell of telling me that I've got to take her to get her car MOT'd at 9:30. So I'm gonna have to do my long run really early tomorrow. I've got 19k to do tomorrow, so I've got to get up really early and get that done before I take her out. So yeah, no park run this week, but hopefully returning to that next week. What about you, Dan?
19K on a Saturday. So I'm going to go to Chasewater. It's a new one for me. Just trying a few new different park runs at the moment because of getting a bit bored with doing Telford and Shrewsbury all of the time. So Chasewater, watched a few videos of it, and it looks like quite an interesting one lap course around the lake there. Different terrain. Really looking forward to it. And then a long run on Sunday for Father's Day. It is, of course, Father's Day on Sunday. So if you are listening to this before Sunday, shops are probably closed, so you've missed your opportunity. But your dad is going to love charcoal briquettes or some screen wash from the garage, or even a Twix. Actually, yeah, Twix would be quite nice. So, Sophia, do you want to tell us your socials, your social media channels where we can kind of like see what you're doing?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram at Sophia the Runner.
And Andre, do you want to do the same? Just say which social media channels you're on.
You can catch me everywhere: Instagram, YouTube, TikTok at Andre Runs with a Z at the end.
Andre Runs with the Z. Like Liza with a Z, not Lisa with an S. It's Andre with a Z.
I get
And
that reference.
You get the reference.
I know that one.
I didn't get that reference.
It's because
Okay, well, I always lose 1/3 of the audience, 1/3 of my
I was going to
presenters
say
at
it's
some
probably
point.
because you're a straight man, but
Yes, I'm straight as well.
I know, but Liza is for the girls and the gays.
Do you know? Nothing wrong with liking musical theatre if you're a straight man. Absolutely love it. Love a bit of ABBA. You know, can't go wrong with ABBA. Anyway, I am on YouTube at Other Adventures Await Me. I'm also on Instagram for Other Adventures Await Me. We have been the Chatty Runners. This has been our podcast, and we bid you a goodbye. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
I thought you were going to say adieu.